Welcome, friends, it's the MovieFilm Podcast. MovieFilm Podcast, enjoy the show. Zachy and Brian are talking about the movies. MovieFilm Podcast on the radio.
Welcome to Movie Film Commentary Track. I am Zachy Hassan, and that's Brian Hall.
Hey, how's it going?
Hey, we are back again. Maybe
Deja vu.
I was about to
Did
say
you see a black cat walk by?
it's not a glitch in the Matrix, everybody. We're back with another Matrix commentary track.
Yeah.
Perhaps too soon, but which is I think what many felt when this movie came out. Like,
wow. Yeah.
oh, already?
Yeah, that's funny. Wow. Not planned, but completely appropriate.
Right? Oh, another. We're doing this again. Oh, okay. That's,
But the last one wasn't that good.
yeah, exactly. So we will hopefully, we got stuff to say. We're not done talking.
No, and you know what? Upon reevaluation several decades later, maybe people will see how valuable these tracks are. So
I hope. Yeah. So we are here to watch The Matrix Revolutions from 2003. We will give everyone the opportunity to queue up along with us if they choose to. But in the meantime, let's take a short break so our sponsors can do their thing. And then on the flip side, we will watch the movie. And we are back. Brian, you ready to go?
I'm ready.
So as with all our commentaries, we'll try to keep it interesting enough where if you are just listening, hopefully you enjoy it. But if you choose to watch along with us, then that'll add another level.
Mm-hmm.
Whether good or bad, I leave that to you to determine. I leave that to history to decide.
May history judge us.
Yeah, we'll leave it once it's out in the world. It belongs to the ages, Brian.
That's right.
Our little shoe.
Yeah, like at the end of AI, like those robot-looking things digging through the ice when they find these recordings and then they evaluate humanity. We'll let them decide.
That's who we're doing this for, really.
Yeah.
Hello. That's what it's always been about.
What if this like completely derailed the entire rest of our show from looking for, and all we do is we turn to these crazy people that are addressing these future robots, you know? We hope this pleases you.
It seems appropriate given our subject matter today.
Yes, good segue.
Right? So derailed or a parallel track.
Yep. Oh, by the way, I'll say for the commentary. This movie's long.
Okay, now I'm waiting. Now I'm anticipating. Okay.
No.
That's good. Okay, well, something to look forward to.
Yeah.
We are watching the theatrical and only cut of The Matrix Revolutions, and I'm ready. Brian, you ready?
I'm ready.
So we will do as usual. I will count to 3. We'll go 1, 2, 3, and then play. So here we go. 1, 2, 3, play.
Isn't it interesting, by the way, how many movies do have alternate cuts? Enough that you have to say that at the beginning. But it's interesting the movies that don't. You know?
That's a good point.
Yeah, I mean, like this is a series you can sort of imagine, especially in the DVD age, where they're like, remember that was the thing. They would put out director's cuts, which is one thing, but they would also do just alternate cuts, which just threw in scenes the director probably didn't want anyway.
Right.
Just for a selling point of having, this is a cut you haven't seen.
Yes. Yeah, those are well, when DVD was more of a thing, that was,
Yeah,
that was a thing.
You could imagine, or at least I can, I guess, with this series, added scenes to The Matrix. You're going to love it, but I don't know. The Wachowskis had like an amazing amount of control.
They had a clear vision. Well, actually, speaking of that vision, I think this is worth pointing out here. In contrast with the other films in The Matrix, where we see the code and then we go into the Matrix, what we see here is we go from the code to this bright. What we find out later is the source.
Mm-hmm.
That's how Neo sees the source. We dip into the Matrix and then we bounce right back out into the real world.
Oh, funny.
None of the other films, or usually we have a scene in the Matrix
Right.
and then we come into the real world. And here it's like we just bounce in and bounce right back out.
Yeah. Yeah. And this is, it makes sense being the third and final installment, but we are in it. Like we are just picking up where we left off. Let's go.
Yeah, I said this in our track for Matrix Reloaded, but I think it's a mistake in a way to think of this as the third act of a trilogy, because really this is part 2 of a 2-part movie. So,
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, sure.
we talked before about how the cut point where the previous movie ends was a little bit like, huh? Like, because it's not a particular. There's this dramatic sting, and unless you've really been following the plot, which the last movie that was a challenge following the plot, you wouldn't be like, oh no, Smith is in the real world and he's connected to Neo and the thing and the thing and the thing. Yeah, most people were like already either actively angry or actively apathetic by that point.
Yeah, and it's funny because I feel like you get a better sense of that in this movie. The fact that that is Smith in a human body, because you get to hear the person talk a lot more, repeat phrases where, we associate with Smith. And I mean, I know it if you're following it in the second one, but it's very clear in this one.
Well, I think the problem is we're introduced to the Bane as Smith story relatively early on.
Yes.
And then that, like, he's done for the rest of the movie.
Right.
And that's the problem. Like if I mean the Bane possession happens before the Burly Brawl, I think.
Oh wow.
Right? And so we don't see any of the everything they talk about. They're like, oh, somebody set off an EMP, and like there's all the exposition that they give, right?
Yeah, you would imagine that maybe there would even be one scene of him skulking around the ship a little bit, and just pulling a cable out that he shouldn't, or I mean, obviously not that, but
right.
Oh, this guy's going to be a problem,
Right. Yeah.
But so
one point I wanted to make. So Neo is in a coma, or what they perceive as a coma, because of his use of his power in the real world at the end of the previous film, right? And so in between movies, that led to this question of, are they in a nested matrix? Because how can he be using his powers in the real world if he only has powers in the matrix? So he must be in a matrix within a matrix. And that, I think that was a reveal that many people were hoping for. And so that may have been one level of disappointment. What in actuality, what we have is the Matrix is Wi-Fi, basically. It's like, how he's in the Matrix, but he's not plugged in. Now, here's the thing: this movie came out pre-Wi-Fi.
Right.
Remember that world when the internet was not a thing that was all around you? It was a chair that in your house that you had to sit in.
Yep.
So it is fascinating how these films exist within a very specific vision of what technology was.
Right.
I find that, and so in a way, it was anticipating the onset of Wi-Fi. I didn't mean to cut you off. Sorry.
No. Well, and here we have a new Oracle, not the new Oracle within the series, but we have a new face to the Oracle because of real life tragedy, right?
Yeah, and so this is Mary Alice replacing Gloria Foster, who played the previous, and she was friends with her.
Yeah, they'd been in a play together, apparently.
That's right.
Yeah.
And I think story-wise, because of the nature of the Oracle being a program, it allows for this. And she sort of says this thing like, well, I made a choice. And that's actually alluded to in the video game.
Yeah, I looked that up. There's a lot of important things that take place in the video game. I mean,
very much so.
Anticipated people digging into all the ancillary sorts of media. But I guess she says that in the game that the Merovingian punished her for directing Neo to him.
That's right.
And so he forces her to use an older version, like a older face, or less abilities.
Right.
An older version of herself. Yeah.
She had to be backwards compatible.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah, it's a good thing she isn't Nintendo. This isn't a Nintendo.
That's right. or PS.
PlayStation?
Yeah, like I think PS4 does not play PS3 games. I think that's right.
No, it
Yeah.
doesn't.
So I know people were upset about
Yeah.
that. Much to your chagrin, right, Ryan?
Yeah. But yeah, you know what's funny, by the way? I don't remember if I brought it up, but I've since listened to another podcast about Matrix Reloaded recently,
Mm-hmm.
and they were citing yet another podcast. But anyway, in the Reloaded, I love all the action in that movie, but I remember Neo fighting Seraph, feeling a little bit almost like they felt like they just needed an action beat,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
because he does this, oh, okay, good, yeah. I had the only way to really know a person is to fight them.
That's
And I
right.
was like, okay, but I mean, like, whatever, it's cool, but it just felt a little not needed. And then from the podcast to the podcast, whatever was relayed, that someone interpreted it as it was almost like checking someone's password, you know, like
Oh, okay.
verifying someone before they let them log in. And I was like, I like that.
That makes sense to
I
me.
like
Yeah.
that, changes that whole scene for me. Oh, by the way, Mobile Avenue,
Yeah.
I looked up, was an anagram for limbo, because Neo's
Look
in
at that.
limbo.
Well, I'll
Isn't that
be
great?
damned. That's
Yeah.
that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And you know, they think so much about all the details in here. That has to be.
Oh, that's yeah. So this little girl, not a great actor. I'm just gonna say it.
Yeah, she's cute.
It's-
At least she's got that going for her.
she keeps saying Neo the way she says the name,
Oh, that's funny.
and it bugs the piss out of me.
That's really funny.
Now these characters though are pretty crucial, and I mentioned that last time.
Yes.
A couple points actually. If I'm not mistaken, they're the first representatives that we get from the machine world who are people of color.
Oh, interesting.
Or not. I mean, the Oracle is black, but they're brown. You know.
Right.
I find that interesting. That the choice to make them an Indian family. That's
Mhm.
interesting. You know. But the fact that he talks about himself and his love for his daughter
Hmm.
as a machine, right? And this is obviously the crux of their conversation, right? He says, "I love my daughter. She's the most beautiful thing I've ever seen," right? And how can a program speak in those terms, right?
Hmm.
Well, it's all laid out here, right? I mean, maybe we're not so different after all.
Right.
And again, I go back to the conversation we had during the last movie. If you as a viewer are getting set up for, we're going to blow up the Death Star at the end of this movie, then this is just moving you further away from that. And I think that was the crux of the issue that many people had. This is as a trilogy is not particularly concerned with, we're going to wipe those other people out.
Right.
Because if you say we want peace, well, peace does not mean the other side gets wiped out.
Right.
And so we hear it all the time. We've heard it. Oh, the sequels, they tarnish the legacy of the first movie. And I'm always like, it's not like the sequels came out like 20 years later by somebody else.
Right.
The sequels are the culmination of what they were the story they started to tell there.
Right.
So you can say you didn't like the sequels, but when you get into, oh, well, they ruined the story from the first movie. I'm like, yeah, but the entire thing is their story.
Mm-hmm.
Does that, you know what I mean?
Yeah. And even finishing it this morning with Federica, she was seeing these for the first time, the sequels.
Okay.
And she was sort of mixed on it. Like there were things she liked, but it was just a lot. And we even went on like Google and just with questions we had and figuring it all out. And I was like, she was saying, but that's kind of what they wanted to do. Like they didn't want to explain everything. They wanted you to have to listen, and they wanted you. And so that might turn some people off, but it's also the film's strength in a way. And I agree with that. I just love, last night I was like, Trinity, I always got to be so extra. Going through the turnstile there, just doing some cartwheel. But like, that's what I love about it. Like they did exactly what they wanted to do, whether or not you are on board for it or not. And I think that is so cool. You know?
And especially in this day and age where these big IP movies aren't allowed to do that, you know?
Yes.
So the train man here, that's the actor playing him, is Bruce Spence.
Mm-hmm.
He is the gyro captain in The Road Warrior.
Ah.
And he's also the pilot in the third Mad Max movie.
Right. Oh, wow. I did not put that together.
Yeah, because they shot these in Australia, so it makes sense.
Of course, right.
He's also the mouth of Sauron in The Return of the King. And he's the guy in Revenge of the Sith who's on that planet that where you know what I'm talking about?
Where say.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There you go. You got it.
Yeah.
So he's managed to do pretty well hitting all the bases with big sci-fi franchises.
Yeah. The guy that Obi-Wan converses with.
That's right.
Sometimes when I'm editing the show, I realize I say things and I know exactly what I'm talking about in my head. And then when I hear it again, I'm like, people must be like, what in the world is he talking about?
I think this speaks to us where we can sort of have this shorthand.
Yes. Yeah. Sometimes it's like we forget we're doing like a radio show at the same time. Yeah.
It's the planet where General Grievous is. I forget the name of the planet. Somebody's screaming it at their device right now.
Yeah. Yes.
You idiot! It's
I love that image. That's me sometimes. Yeah.
I forget. What is that planet?
Not Geonosis, right? That's the bug planet.
Geonosis is from Attack of the Clones.
Yeah.
And Mustafar is at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
Dude.
Does any of this matter? Not even a little bit.
Maybe. No.
That's the question St. Peter's going to ask at the gates of... You're like, damn it, I should have looked it up.
So everybody pause and look it up.
He's like, well, everything checks out here. You gave to charity. You were kind to children. Okay, no, we're looking good. So one last thing. He closes the book. One last question. As a trap door opens underneath you.
Yes. Somehow I have a glass of water. I'm just drinking it nervously. Mm-hmm.
Oh gosh. So Neo, so Limbo, as it exists within the machine world. I mean, when you think about it, it makes no sense. How can he be there and yet also in the real world?
Right.
He's alive in both, but he's not plugged in. And you know what this movie really hits you again and again with is that Neo and Smith are the same.
Mm-hmm.
So it's exactly Smith's scenario. Smith isn't plugged in, but he is in both the Matrix and the real world at the same time.
Right. And they're like yin and yang, right? Remainders of the equation.
Right.
That just dark and light.
And that's the important thing, right? When you think about it, like by virtue of them being an equation, which is the Oracle explicitly says that to him.
Yeah.
Well, if you wipe out one side of an equation, if you zero out one side of an equation, then the other side gets zeroed out too.
Mm-hmm.
And so the fact that this movie is leading towards Neo's death is just baked into it.
Mm-hmm.
If Smith has to die, so does Neo.
Right.
And that, you know, I think this movie, you know, it really is, in terms of the mythology, the internal mythology of the Matrix, I mean, it really is up its own asshole.
Sure. Yes.
I mean, it is, right? You're either on board or you're not.
Yes.
Like if you disliked Matrix Reloaded, well, this movie's just more of what you disliked.
Yes.
There's no way around it.
Yeah, more Zion, whether or not, however you felt spending time with those people.
Yeah.
Which is funny, by the way, because while we were watching it, I was like, man, I think everybody except for our heroes in Zion is very unpleasant, you know? And then Federico was like, well, how would you feel? Like,
that's a good point.
Dingy sweaters and eating goop.
They're wearing clothes that look like they smell bad. That's my thought whenever I watch it. I'm like, that you go to bed, you take off the smelly thing, you wake up in the morning, you're like, well, I got to put that smelly thing back on. You know?
So now I remember seeing this in the theater, this moment here where we're fighting basically the security at the coat check or weapons check. And then when these guys leap onto the ceiling, it was like, yeah, like I expect to see something new in each one.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this was kind of as far as it goes with this one, right? But it's a cool visual, but I couldn't help but think as each person bad guy got shot here that it was all because of their flourish. Like whenever they were doing some flourish, that's when they happened to get shot.
That's hilarious.
I was like, just hide behind a pillar.
Although it does, going back to what you were saying earlier about the fight between Neo and Seraph, this scene feels like that.
Like, yeah, we got to have it. Yeah.
We got to put like a thing where we're, 15 minutes in, I guess we should have something, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. And it's even looking at it now, because this is probably the Matrix film I've seen the least.
Okay.
It still feels a little bit fresher. Like, oh, cool. Like some Matrix action I don't remember as well as.
Yeah.
It looks good, I think, for the most part. This sort of zero gravity kind of thing.
Yeah, I think that by this third movie, I mean, there is a very distinct style that the Wachowskis knew the Matrix had to evoke.
Yeah.
And they do a good job of making sure to hit those bases.
Yeah, dude, so cool. Trinity is awesome. But it's all, it's really great wire work and really, really talented people, right? But it's also just great editing. They know right when to cut, probably seconds before it's going to look wonky, and then cut to another angle to sell the awesome landing,
Yeah. I think that this series faced, the similar choices that these big franchises have had in the past, where do we leave it open-ended or do we wrap things up? And I think it was smart to work towards a conclusion.
Yes.
Before it became self-parody.
Yeah, sure.
Which arguably, I mean, the critics, people who dislike these films would say it already dipped into self-parody in the sequels.
Sure.
But I think had you kept going, it's hard to, I mean, kind of like what you said in reference to that scene, like, oh, you got to have like a Matrix-y scene,
Mm-hmm.
And it would feel very, we talked about this when we did the Back to the Future trilogy. Like, it's good that they wrap things up, because otherwise it just becomes, oh, and here's another thing. Here, Doc and Marty go to the Civil War, and here, like,
right.
But there was a story, they told it, they're done, and you get to say, oh, that's a job well done.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You want there to feel like there could be a finality to this,
It does, in the age of the MCU, it does feel like the trilogy is sort of an antiquated model at this point, doesn't it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Like you
Right.
can't end it there.
Yeah.
It has to become a TV series on HBO Max, and it has to become, yeah.
I mean, when we talk about the Star Wars sequels, couldn't you make the argument that it was sort of trapped by the trilogy format?
Wait, what do you mean?
Like, they knew they had to wrap things up in 3, and that's why they wrapped things up.
Sure.
Whereas, like, that was probably a story that needed a couple more movies to breathe.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, I see what you're saying, yeah. Kind of beholden to the format.
Yeah,
Yeah. Speaking of, as I was watching this, I realized how much like Return of the Jedi this movie is. Where basically you start with, say, like Han and Carbonite being held by Jabba, and his friends have to get him. Here we have Neo trapped somewhere, and his friends are basically going through Jabba's palace here, to like go get him back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Right? And then they get all reunited, and they have to gear up for a giant battle. And so the only difference is we don't spend as much time with Luke and Han and Leia. In this, we spend a lot of time with the rebels, so to speak. Right? We actually spend time on Endor with the ground troops. Right?
That's a great comparison. I had to be honest. I've seen this movie a ton. I never made that direct comparison, but I think it's very apt.
I can't remember. One moment, I don't recall what it was, but it all sort of came into focus. I was like, oh. I mean, not exactly, but.
Yeah, it's not 1-to-1, but there's enough there. There's definitely, you know what's funny? There's the scene coming up between Neo and the Oracle. When I was rewatching it, I was thinking, I was like, oh, this is like the Obi-Wan and Luke scene.
That's so, yeah.
I had made the connection without even realizing I'd made the connection.
Well, and then Luke/Neo has to go face the big bad, and not just the big bad, but the big bad, right?
Yeah.
The person behind it all.
Look at that, Brian.
Look at us.
Yeah. We're doing all right.
Yeah, we're all right. We're all right.
Now, this thing here where the Merovingians like, give me the eyes of the Oracle.
Yeah.
It almost feels like they're setting up a side quest. And then it's like, no, never mind.
I love that. Yeah. And I love that it works.
Yeah.
You know, Trinity, like, believe it. He's like, okay.
I mean, I think that's meant to signify what Smith acquires.
Uh-huh.
Like, it's meant to be like, oh, this is something that everybody wants, and now Smith has it. So without Smith being like, I'm here for your eyes or whatever, you know, you put it out exposition wise that, oh, this is something that is people want within the world of the Matrix.
Right. You know, again, when this was over here, after we finished watching it, we went on Google and we were sort of like, wait, who is the Oracle? Like, we really wanted to understand it. And I think I can understand people who watch these and just don't want to understand. Like, they either want to, you know, they want to go in and kind of be told and experience the film and be able to walk out and understand everything.
Yeah.
And this movie demands that you listen to every word, first of all, but also think about it. Right.
Yes.
And I've got to say, I can completely understand people who just don't want to do that. But I find that the more I do read up on it, I'm like, oh, that's really clever. You know, just even the sort of yin and yang of the Oracle and the Architect. And
that's right.
You know? So
yeah, I think you're sort of, we said this before, you know, when Neo ends up in front of the Architect, if you view him as the villain of the story, then that scene doesn't make any sense. And he's not. He's a program.
Right.
So he just sees things in terms of probabilities and percentages, because that's you know, you go this way, you're going to do this, you're going to do this, you know, and the Oracle, the Oracle and the Architect have the scene together at the end, and they're like a married couple.
Right.
That's the way they speak to each other.
Right.
So again, it's really about blurring these lines between us and them. And I mean, there's so many different ways to read that, but I think it allows for a richness to the story, and it allows the Matrix films to stand apart because they're doing something that these big IP type stories tend generally not to do.
Right.
Which is say, well, maybe those aren't the bad guys. Right?
Right.
See this right there, where they're with Neo. And Morphe's like, don't you see him? Like, in reference to the code. And he's like, I don't see him.
Right. Right.
So he's been through his journey to Limbo, and it's fundamentally changed him. It's fundamentally changed his relationship with the Matrix.
Right. Well, oh no, go ahead.
No, that's all.
I was going to say, just because I always am interested in this when we do the commentaries, but speaking of people being willing to continue with this or not, so Matrix Reloaded, the movie right before this, domestically made $281 million. This one made $139 million.
So big drop.
Big drop, over $100 million. And then worldwide, this last one made $741 million, and this one $427. So
still a big hit relative to its budget.
Yes.
But no question, people were burned out.
Yeah.
And I as I said before, I didn't see this one until a year and a half later.
Right.
And it wasn't like, F this franchise, screw that. It wasn't that.
Right.
It was just, I'll get to it. I had just gotten married like a month and a half earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I was busy. You know, I was like, I'll get to it when I get to it. But I enjoyed it. But I can definitely remember people who did see it who hated it. And my sense, anecdotally, is that this is the least liked of the three. So I believe it. But as I said, I I think part 2 and part 3 they are stitched together.
Yeah.
So it's impossible for me to separate them from each other.
Yeah. I even as I was rewatching it today, I was thinking this is probably my least favorite. However, that was like in the middle. And then when it ended, I'm like, yeah, but it's a piece of the puzzle. Like it all goes together, and I love this wacky world.
That's really the thing. You're either down or you're not.
Mm-hmm.
So there are plenty of people who are like, they view the first film as a complete thing in and of itself, and that there is no trilogy. There's just one movie.
Right.
I disagree, but I'm like, well, yeah, I mean, you're going to get a complete experience out of the first movie, no question.
Mm-hmm.
And the sequels will push you in a slightly different direction than you'd be comfortable with. I get it.
Right.
That sounds condescending. It's not meant that way.
No.
I mean, I think these sequels do what, in my opinion, sequels should do, which is expand our expectations of the world.
Mm-hmm. Instead of, repeating beats.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
So you have like the Austin Powers sequels, which are 3 versions of pretty much the same movie.
It could be like a Mad Libs page, and then you just cycle in, new.
Right.
Yeah.
And I mean that's fine because those are comedy sequels. But what I like with these is they're all. I was going to say distinct from each other, and maybe that's not true because I think you could easily be like, which one is this from again? But
Sure.
Each of them has a different story that they're telling. We're doing different things.
Mm-hmm.
And that's if you'll permit me a comparison, the Planet of the Apes movies, the original ones, the 60s and 70s ones, something I did not like about them when I was a kid, the sequels, was how they're so different from the first movie.
Sure.
With each one, we move further and further away from that first movie, right? And now, as a 40-plus-year-old man, that's why I like them.
Right.
Because that first movie is its own thing, and then every single one of those movies, you're doing something different. Some work better than others, but each of them is a swing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I like them.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I wonder, as the 4th film comes out next week, if people will revisit these and they'll be reevaluated a bit.
So now, as we record this little time capsule, I have seen movie 4.
Mm-hmm.
You have not.
I have not.
So that makes this whole conversation awkward because I have to like tiptoe through a minefield. But I will say this: we're on the cusp of a whole brand new, super obnoxious discourse that's about to come out. And as far as I think for certain, movie 4 requires engagement with 2 and 3.
Mm-hmm.
You can't go from 1 to 4.
Right.
So it is very much a continuation. I don't think that's a spoiler. But that then to your point, how will that affect how people think of these movies? Because now it's not the road doesn't end with number 3.
Yeah. Yeah, no, but interestingly, because we had just been immersed in this world, I listened to Slash Filmcast, I mention it from time to time, and they looked at Reloaded again. And one of the hosts said, on his letterbox, he had Reloaded at 2.5 stars, his personal rating. Mm-hmm. And then after revisiting it, having not seen it for years, he moved it up to 4.
Really?
Which I was like, wow. It's just maybe with some time and reset expectations.
Yeah.
And you're able to look at it from a further distance altogether. And I mean, as we said in our last commentary, though, I still have nitpicks about it, but I don't know. My appreciation and admiration of the ambition, I think, trumps all of that.
I think, and I, as so often is the case, I use my kids as a bit of a soundboard, and I watched all 3 movies with them just recently. I watched Animatrix, everything, and for them, it was all just one contiguous whole.
Yeah. How do they respond to these? I mean, as heady as they tend to get.
So, I mean, I've had discussions about them with my oldest,
Uh-huh.
and he definitely he appreciates the mythology. The philosophical stuff is there, and I suspect as he gets older, he'll appreciate it more.
Mhm.
But at no point is he like, "What the hell's going on?"
Right, sure.
And that's gratifying. I'm actually super excited to rewatch Matrix Resurrections with them in just a couple days because I'm really like it's for them. It's not 18 years later.
Yeah.
It's here's the next
I
thing and
saw
the
it,
thing we
yeah.
just watched. Yeah,
Yeah. It's funny too because especially doing these commentaries as I was rewatching these, I almost felt this heightened responsibility to actually understand these movies, like
sure.
note for note. And eh, I think I do now more than I ever have to some degree, but I still
Mhm.
don't entirely. If I were to take a test, I don't know how well I would do. But it also, in a way, I think they're still enjoyable in the way that Nolan was talking about Tenet, where it was like,
Mhm.
it's not like you have to understand everything. You just feel your way through and you will experience the movie I've laid out for you. And I feel like that's possible with these, like you're
I
saying with your
I
kids.
I think that's very true, and I think that the mythology is consistent within itself,
Yeah.
which is I think the most important thing in these fictional worlds.
Yeah.
Is you lay out the parameters and all the clues to decipher it are in the text.
Mm-hmm.
So now people are listening and be like, yeah, but you said you have to watch Animatrix and all, and Enter the Matrix video game. And I would say yes, because all of those are also the text.
Yeah. 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 Like
That's
it
the
or not.
story. Yeah, that's what the Wachowskis were doing.
Yeah.
So the movies by themselves are only going to give you a portion of everything they're trying to convey, and that's going to be annoying.
Yeah. And enough, like I said, I do feel like it's enough to feel your way through.
Yes,
But yeah.
I think what they did with this trilogy, and we said this last time, where they did incorporate material from this, and then made it's all one big meta text. That they had the power at that moment to do that
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
the Matrix was so ubiquitous.
Yeah.
Good luck with anything with a brand new IP being able
No.
to do something like that today.
No. No chance.
Yeah.
By the way, I love this scene. I love this scene with the Smith and the Oracle, and he throws the cookies, and he's like, "Of course, you knew I was going to do that. So you
Mhm.
bake the cookies and paste the plate down just so." And he's just like getting in his own head about it.
Well, he is having so much fun, Hugo.
Dude, he is iconic. I
Mhm.
think I know these movies have whatever sort of things surrounding them now these days, but like I think he's up there with Vader, with all time iconic bad guys.
Yeah.
Just I mean, and it's everything. It's the character, it's the costume, it's Hugo Weaving, the way he speaks, and I love just his how heightened and agitated he gets in this one.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then when he basically takes over the Oracle here and just starts doing like a maniacal laugh.
I know.
I mean, I love it. I love it.
It's so great.
He's so fantastic.
I think this here is very interesting that it shows the power of the Oracle that the Matrix is reacting to her being absorbed.
Yes, I love. See, this is the stuff I don't really remember from this.
Right.
From previous viewings. There's little things I'd forgotten. But yeah, now the one who the Smith who was in control is now backing away in fear of the
Mm-hmm.
Oracle Smith. Dude.
Look at that.
Yeah.
And again, by the Ian Bliss who plays the Bane Smith in the real world, he is so good.
Yes.
He's doing this perfect Hugo Weaving as Smith imitation.
Yes.
It's amazing. But in the earlier scene where the Oracle's talking to Neo, right? She talks about how you can't see past a choice you don't understand,
Mm-hmm.
and she includes herself in that.
Mm-hmm.
No one can see past a choice they don't understand. And that gets to the crux of everything we've been talking about, right? This dichotomy that the movie is presenting between purpose and choice.
Mm-hmm.
Purpose without choice is meaningless.
Right.
Right. And it flows in both directions.
Mm-hmm.
That sense of, why do you do something? Why do you, why do you show kindness to somebody?
Mm.
It doesn't mean anything if you're forced to.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Right. And again, that's the exact thing that Neo is struggling with.
Mm-hmm.
That he's looking at it in terms of, I am trapped in predestination.
Right. This is my role.
This is my role, but I don't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And that's the journey he's on. Right. He's seeing visions of the source. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So his road, and I love, by the way, that when he goes to the source, what's the ship? It's Logos, right?
Mm-hmm.
Word. It's
Word.
Latin for word. He's taking the word to the source.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I love all that stuff. All this, philosophy and religion and whatnot peppered in here. It's just, I don't know. It gives it that extra thing where it tickles your brain and you get to be delighted by certain things,
Well, and I think those are the layers that allowed these movies to be revisited, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think what you're describing with I think it was from the Slash Filmcast, where the person said, I went back and, oh my gosh, I found all this other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And isn't that a good thing, to be able to revisit a text and get, oh wow, look at this, and this is here, and it's still flawed, we've agreed.
Yeah.
But those flaws are the things that add character.
Yeah, something else I was reading, just adding to what you're saying, Seraph.
Yes.
There's the seraphim, who are
That's
these
right.
sort of guardian angel, sort of beings
Mm-hmm.
in biblical texts. And so it's like, oh, well, he's this seraph for the Oracle.
That's right.
And it's just like, I don't know. Just, and then even going down to the anagrams they have everywhere. And,
right.
It's just, there's so much. I guess at one point I didn't even notice this, but I guess the Oracle's wearing yin yang earrings, just between her and the architect. And it's just, these are artists who just really are invested, and every detail is noted. And like, those are the things that we keep revisiting and talking about,
Right. I think Morpheus's journey in this film is also one that is worth talking about, where he has been sort of humbled.
Yes.
At the end of the second film. And so now he's on the road back, where he too has to figure out his purpose.
Right.
And I think when you think about the role of purpose in these films, his purpose was to free Neo.
Mm-hmm.
And he accomplished that. But what comes next?
Right.
And I think it's very telling that in this film, his purpose lies in the real world and not in the Matrix.
Mm-hmm.
That's where he is during the climax.
Yeah.
Because so much of his identity is that guy with the sunglasses and the annoying, halting way of talking. And,
that's kind of the fun, jarring thing of the second film, too, where in the first one, he's just pure badass.
Mm-hmm.
Right. At least in terms of, he has the moment where he gets drugged at the end, I guess we were saying.
Right.
And then he gets to make up for that on the truck scene in the second one. But when you see what he's like around other people, when he's not the cool guy that Neo, the introduction to all this for Neo, we're like, wow, this guy's really got it together. But then when you see him in Zion, people are like, oh, here comes Morpheus, like, it's kind of like, oh, I wasn't prepared for that. So yeah, his journey becomes a more vulnerable one.
It's back in the 90s when David Letterman hosted the Oscars. You remember that? The infamous time.
Oprah?
Well, he did that, but there was another thing he did, which I found very funny, where one of the awards was being presented by Tim Robbins and Susan Sarandon.
Okay.
This is when they were together.
Yeah.
And he says, like, here's Tim Robbins and Susan Sarandon. They're probably pissed off about something.
That would actually be a fun Oscars to rewatch.
Right? I was just that's probably like what people think when they see Morpheus like coming down the hall.
Right.
He's probably something about a something prophecy, probably.
Right. Yeah, like if you're having dinner and there's a fork instead of a spoon for soup, and they're like, oh shoot, I didn't. He's like, was it a mistake, or was it that you
Yeah,
was exactly as it was meant to be in the time it was meant to be?
The utensil you have here is the only one you are destined to have.
Yeah, damn it, Morpheus.
I know. So this is Gina Torres. Not here, that's Nona Gay, but she's speaking to Gina Torres, who was married to Lawrence Fishburne at the time.
Oh, how about that?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
They were married from 2002 to 2018.
Okay.
So I wonder if they met on these movies and they got married. Yeah,
all
I'm
right.
not sure. Yeah.
This guy.
Okay.
Kid.
So are we talking about Kid or Captain Mifune?
Kid.
Okay.
Here's the thing. I really do feel like there's an Evan Hansen thing happening with this actor.
He's like 57 going on 18.
Yeah, I looked it up, and he's about 25 here.
Okay.
And he's supposed to be 16.
He's 16, that's right.
And I'm like, if you got, like a Tom Holland.
Sure.
Like, well, gee, I just want to help, like kind of kid. And then, because I think he has I do wish they had included a bit more of the Animatrix backstory in the second one.
Yes.
For him. Even though it doesn't have to be all about him, but just a little, there's something to this kid. And then in this one, he has a really great arc.
Yes.
And I just, if he'd just been cast a little differently, I think it would have worked a bit better for me. Just, that's it.
So from what you're saying, you hate this person who plays him. You find him.
Before you even said that, I was actually thinking, let me clarify. This actor himself is doing nothing wrong. He's doing what is asked of him. And I mean that. He's doing what is asked of him, but I'm totally kidding. Not the guy. You know what I mean?
No. What I was actually saying before I dragged you under the bus was the backstory that the character has in the Animatrix. If they had woven it more into this film, it would give the audience an investment in his, the resolution of his story.
I think so. I think it would go a bit longer of a way. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't disagree with that.
Yeah. And even just making him look a little more vulnerable.
Yeah.
Like if he and I arm wrestled, I don't know how it would go. But like if if it was someone that I wanted to put my arm around to protect, and then watching him go out into that melee later, I'd be like, "You go, you!" Like I don't know. That's all.
I can dig it. No,
why is Brian picking on Kid? I don't.
I was about to say this is the Kid tangent.
All right. Anyway, this is not. I'm gonna completely lose everyone who was with me with the Return of the Jedi thing, but I'm like, I don't know. Here's like Lando with the ship, and gonna go do the impossible run. And
yeah, no, I would agree with that.
Yeah, and by the way, I'm not saying that they looked at that and traced over it. I just was like, oh wow, I did not recognize that there could be some similarities here.
I think there's certain expectations that come with the third part of a trilogy,
which I love. I mean, we'll get to it, but when things get really dour, in the about end of this second act or something, I was like, man, there's just something about the third installment in a trilogy where all bets are off. They just feel different than the other films.
Yeah, it's really like what you're saying is so true. That for me, I remember being a kid and watching Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And when Darth Vader dies,
yes,
that sense of like, wow, like this is ending now. Like Star Wars is ending now,
Yeah.
And I remember feeling something similar with Return of the King when Gollum dies. It's like, whoa, like it's ending, and it hit some of those beats for me as well.
Yeah.
Much earlier than the ending, but when Neo is blinded, quite horrifically, I would say, there's that sense of like, yeah, I don't think he's coming back from that, you know? Right?
Yeah. Good. Yeah, exactly. Man, for me with Jedi, it was when they took the helmet off.
Yep,
I
exactly.
remember leaning forward as a kid, like, are they really doing this? Because
Yeah.
this is like, we can't go back from this.
You don't come back. Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I think this movie succeeds in that, you know, like everything, like the stakes are high. You kind of can't believe what you're seeing. Things are happening you don't want to happen, but that's just the way it's going to happen, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
I think this exchange that we just saw here, where, uh, uh, Niobe says, she says, like Providence, and he said, I thought you don't believe in the one. She says, no, but I believe in him. Right. That sense of being able to look past predestination as the engine that drives you. Right. Like, again, we were talking last time about sort of the Gnostic view of like, how do we square predestination with choice? How does one do that? If you believe in a life after this life, and not knowing where you're going to end up, then, you know, like,
or has it all been determined, or is it?
Yeah.
Do I have a choice in the matter? Yeah,
exactly. Right. And those are the reason those discussions are so, fodder for interesting digressions is because there are no answers, but it's the question that drives us.
Yes. Yeah. Bravo.
Tying it all. You can't see me, but I'm tying everything with an imaginary bow right now.
You know what? Are you? I bet you are.
I think another thing that these movies do really well and really differently is hit the notion of selfless love. The true love that Neo and Trinity have for each other.
Yeah. No, please, you first.
No, good.
Well, I mentioned in the last commentary that I was in college when these came out, and a professor, we asked him, who had seen it before us, what'd you think? And he's like, well, I mean, they look cool, but there's just no emotion. Like, I just can't get into them because they're just so cold.
Right.
And I remember just not thinking about it that way at the time. I was just so wrapped up in, I don't know what, just how cool it was. And I can see that in the second one, just the way that him and Neo and Trinity talk to one another. It's like, well, yeah, I mean, if you're looking at this and not invested, you could be like, so these people love each other? Like, they act like too cool for school all the time. But I think in this third one, especially, in this movie's own way, I really do sense their love for each other.
Right.
It's I mean, if anyone's listening to this, spoilers, it doesn't go well for anybody.
Yeah.
But like, it's I felt my eyes getting wet, in that moment when they were together, because I really believe in their own way, they really love each other.
Yeah, I mean, when we talk about love, right, there's eros and agape, right? And eros is sexual love, lust, right? And agape is more of a selfless love, right? And what we see with Neo and Trinity is it is both eros and agape. It's both. They love each other passionately, as we saw in the second film, but it is this pure and selfless love as well. They would give up everything for each other. Right. And I think,
as we saw Neo do,
in
the second one.
In the second one, exactly, right. And I mean, that's what Trinity basically says to Neo just now as they're about to leave, right? I'd do anything for you,
Yeah.
And my point is, like, that's you can see. I mean, certainly being a kid watching something like that, it'd be a little like icky.
Sure.
like expressions of love that are that free,
That's funny.
But I mean, certainly, that's something different. We don't tend to see that in these types of big franchises.
Yeah, I'm so glad they're together here.
Yeah.
For all that, it's not Neo on his own, or oh boy, no. So we got a stowaway. Now, wait, okay. So earlier, he's just playing dumb, right? When he's talking to that medical person, like,
That's
what
right.
if I think he's just doing his toying with people thing.
Because she's trying to give him some medication. And
that's going to make him spill or relax, right?
Yeah. Exactly.
Well, because he does play sort of aloof, but I guess that's just him acting earlier, right?
Right, exactly.
Where they're asking him where he has all those cuts all over his arms. And
Now, this entire sequence here, as I was watching it earlier, I was thinking, like, how many times does Bane have to say Mr. Anderson before Neo, Tube Light Neo is like, oh wait, you're him,
I thought it took him one beat too long, where the audience suddenly is like, "Come on, man!"
Yeah, like, dude, put it together. But see, the other thought I had as I was like having Crossfire inside my head, I was like, why would he make the leap to, oh, Smith is in the real world now?
Fair,
right?
Yeah, no, that's true. That is true. If you really put yourself in his shoes, like, yeah.
I mean, granted, it's such a specific. Maybe if he didn't say Mr. Anderson until, like, that's the final thing that connects it to him. Because he says it like 15 times.
Yes.
Right?
If that had been the period at the end of his proclamation, then you're like,
right.
Oh, no. Yeah.
Yeah, right? Because he is a little bit like Ted Theodore Logan, where it takes maybe a little bit longer than it should.
Yeah. Or like Homer. What is it? Like, you say that again? Can you dumb it down a notch?
Can you dumb it down?
Yeah.
We're going to cut you open and tinker with your ticker.
Give it to me in English, Doc.
Now, this whole thing, I think, is important because, Neo has to go into the final act wounded, right? He's not whole. But the other parallel I draw, and this may be a bit of a spoiler for future Dune films past the second one, but in the books, the character of Paul, who is a messiah figure, very much like Neo.
Okay.
He also has this universal awareness because of the spice, and he after an attack is left blind.
Oh, interesting.
He's left blind, but because of his connection to spice, he still is able to see. And so you plot those parallels, very, very similar. That the Wachowskis had to have at least some familiarity with Dune.
Sure. Because
so many of the character beats are so similar.
Yeah. Which I love in this moment where he sees the light and it's Smith.
That's right.
In this body. I just saw in the closed captioning, you still don't recognize me.
Yeah.
If you edited this any differently, it could almost come off like Airplane or something. Still not getting it.
I remember when I fought you in the Matrix and there were all those versions of me.
Yeah.
Who are you now?
Yeah. You're gonna need to be more specific than that.
Yeah. I have to say though, like it's that famous what might have been with Will Smith being offered this role, right?
Yeah.
And for as amazing an actor, I love Will Smith. I know you do. No one else could have been Neo.
No,
like Keanu Reeves.
No. Yeah. It's so funny because now he's so beloved.
Yeah.
I mean, some people may not remember. There was a period where he was, it was like a punchline for a lot of people.
Yep.
And I think he earned my eternal love just because I was weaned on Bill and Ted. And so it was like, I mean, I could sort of recognize that in certain movies, like Devil's Advocate or something. I'm like, yeah, he sounds kind of like Ted, sometimes, but like,
right.
But I love him, So it's been kind of nice actually that this has finally happened for him.
It really, because when we were coming up, you had Bill and Ted, you had Point Break, you had Speed.
Yeah, sure.
And certainly for me, between those three, I was like, I'm always going to have a certain amount of affinity for Keanu Reeves. Now in the middle there, he did Dracula, which he's not great in.
Which I've not seen, and maybe that would play into...
Yeah, he's that. I mean, just being
Yeah.
objective, not the best part of that movie. And he did a couple of, like Johnny Mnemonic and stuff. So that wasn't that great. But by the time of The Matrix, like I'm trying to think what the general perception of him was.
Yeah, I don't know.
Like, because definitely the sort of like, oh no, we love Keanu Reeves. That's a relatively recent phenomenon.
Right.
I'm going to say in the last 10 years.
Yeah.
So I don't know what it was like at the time he did these, but I do know this. Even back when these movies came out, it was the overwhelming evidence pointed to the fact that he was just a really nice guy.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And you think about it, like that matters so much. Obviously, like just in terms of the kind of person you are, but in the industry too. Like that's going to matter more than like, oh, what have you done for me lately?
Right. Right. I mean, I think it happened around the time of these movies, but the story was out that he bought the whole stunt team, like Ducati
right.
motorcycles.
Right.
Right. Oh, there we go. Yeah, I love that.
Look at that. That's so in losing his sight,
now
his vision is truer.
Yes. Yeah, that's cool. That sort of flaming. Wow.
They say that when somebody is passing on, when they're getting ready to move on to the next plane, whatever that is,
mm-hmm.
that the boundaries between this physical world and everything else start blending together,
mm-hmm.
and you start seeing everything,
Sure.
And so to me, that's what this signifies a little bit, where Neo is now in the sort of the descent of his journey, because the boundaries between the physical and the metaphysical are breaking down.
Right. You know what's funny? I remember seeing this when I was in my early 20s, and when he was blinded, I didn't know how to react to it, because then I thought, well, how is he going to finish this movie? Like, it just felt like something that you couldn't undo, and it just sort of made me uncomfortable, honestly. Yeah. And it's funny because now that I'm older, I really appreciate that choice.
Right.
For exactly the reasons we're talking about right now. There we go. Yeah.
There's your favorite Matrix supporting character.
But I see, it's just so funny because, again, I like this arc he has in this movie. You know what I mean? Like, I like and even this grizzled sort of Marine guy here.
I love that character, Captain Mifune.
Yes.
He's got this Tamura Morrison energy a little bit.
Totally.
Right?
Totally. Yeah.
Well, I guess Tamura Morrison has a Captain Mifune energy, because I think this guy's probably older than him. But
yeah, these things. I was kind of shocked at how good a lot of the CGI is in this.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure this thing we're looking at right now, this sort of army of those, what are the power loader, basically, things with
basically. Yeah, basically.
I'm sure they would do one extra pass and it would look even better, but like, they look pretty good, right?
I agree. Yeah. Well, I think when we were talking about the Burly Brawl, we were like, yeah, you can sort of see the limits of that technology.
Sure.
In that sequence, but I think what this shows is, as far as CGI machinery and equipment and stuff, we'd already gotten pretty far along at making it look not bad,
Yeah, which is a pretty. I mean, was this 2003? So then, Phantom Menace was 99 with our first fully CGI character, right?
That's right.
I mean, notwithstanding that glass man from Young Sherlock Holmes, but
and Casper.
Oh, it was 95 or something, right?
Casper was 95. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, all of this stuff here, the Zion, as we count down to, extinction or whatever it is, I think we desperately needed much more of a sweep through these characters to elevate them beyond being sort of token this guy and token that girl, and yes.
We
needed more, I think.
100%. And I said this a couple episodes ago when I was talking about this movie, but that section of this movie almost feels like the spin-off series, where it's like, we're going to hang in Zion, but maybe Neo will make an appearance once.
Oh, sure. Yeah. Right.
And
Yeah.
I still feel that way to a degree, but like I miss my heroes during a good chunk of this movie, but at the same time, I can't say that it isn't compelling either. When they're fending off that onslaught of sentinels coming through that hole. You know what I mean?
I
It's
I
sort of mixed.
I think a potential problem maybe is that, like, let's say there were more characters on the Nebuchadnezzar in the first movie, uh, who make it into the next one. You
Mm-hmm.
could have a couple of those original characters in Zion,
Yes,
so we're invested in them.
exactly. And I'm not saying they should have done this, but if
Right.
like Joey Pants had some sort of redemption. Again, I'm not pitching this. This is not a good idea. But then he's
Right.
but he's back here. We know him. He
Yeah.
screwed up, but he's back to like make up for it, and he'll give his life for it. Like if we had that sort of a character
Or
leading
even
some of these people we
shit,
don't know
man.
as well, there could be something more to it.
Just like Dozer, he's in Zion.
Sure, yeah.
Link is on the Neb, Dozer's in Zion. Boom. So now
Yeah.
we care about, you know what I mean?
To be fair, I mean, true, it still works. Like I'm rooting for humanity. You know what I mean?
And like, do I care about the human race? I don't know if I do.
But the action's good. I mean, again, it's a striking visual. Them shooting that big drill bit coming through the ceiling, and them just shooting at that hole. But yeah, it just one little degree turn. It just like you say, with someone we know that we're with, I think would be nice.
I also think, I mean, as choices go, the fact that the big battle is in the middle of this movie.
Yeah.
And then the
right.
third
Then
act
kind of
comes down to yeah. I mean, the climax is just a one-on-one.
Yeah.
Right. I think that makes for an interesting, just sort of mixing up the formula a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Boom. Yeah. I was really wowed by the imagination of this all.
Yeah.
Here. I mean, just in the set design and just like this big drill bit thing. That
the other
turns
thing,
into something else, like.
And I'd also say that, and feel free to disagree, but I feel like it doesn't get overwhelming.
You know what? No, I 100% agree. Yeah, that's a big complaint now, right?
Yeah,
because of CGI, you can do anything, so they tend to think, well, we got to go bigger because people have seen everything.
I mean, this is a lot what we're watching. Clearly,
it is, but is entirely understandable.
Yes, exactly. Yeah,
and all the destruction doesn't like. I'm keeping track of what is being destroyed and what we're losing.
Yeah,
yeah. That's great. You're totally right. Sorry, I totally agree with you.
Yeah, I mean, like, it is a big scale battle, but it's, yeah, it's this trilogy's version of the climax of Return of the Jedi.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which even that, I mean, I think the climax of Return of the Jedi, you can still track everything that's going on.
Mm-hmm.
I think, but what we're seeing here, going back to what I was saying earlier about like, if this is where things are for man and machine, then what's the end game here? Right? Because if you remember, now the machines, based on the choice in the last film, right? It was the one is going to return to the source. He's going to take X number of people, and then that'll create the next wave of the resistance, and then we're going to reset the matrix, right?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that has not happened.
Right.
Now, that's bad for the machines.
Mm-hmm.
Because they need human beings.
Right.
So if man and machine is a symbiotic system, then what we're seeing here, that's not good for either side.
Right.
So I think it's very telling that this is the middle of the movie, but it's not the resolution of the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because if human beings go extinct, well, then machines are going to be in a bit of a pickle.
Right. So I just seen that drill bit with those, sort of buzz saws going through the pipes. Like, this is like you can tell some of this is models.
Yes.
In practical explosions, and obviously some of it's CG, but This movie deserves credit for being one of the better blends, I think.
I think so. And in terms of the design sensibility, very much of a James Cameron influence.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Where, when you watch, whether you're talking about Aliens or Terminator or Avatar, the machinery and everything, there's a real thought that's gone into making it believable within that world. It's not stylized.
Yeah.
And I see that influence here.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, these things look, they're part of that lineage of, what Ripley was in at the end of Aliens,
Yeah.
the loaders. But I mean, it does seem like some, it's not, my point is, like, it's not Michael Bay Transformers. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, that's a good point. I love this.
There's Evan Hansen. He's going to make a decision.
Yeah,
now.
I'm rooting for Evan. Like, I love it. It's a really cool moment too to show how scary it is. Like the door opens for these, weapons loaders or ammunition guys, and it's just like they get a glimpse of what they're going to have to step into in just a second. It's scary.
Yeah.
I just feel like
you can see how, for all of the comments that we were just making about, you can follow it and the stakes and everything. If your concept of this franchise is the first movie,
yeah,
you can see how people would be like, well, this is all boring.
Wait,
like,
what do you mean?
Like, I want to see bullet time and right.
Wow, what's funny? Didn't even think about it. So I guess I'm in the bag for this, but like, that's yeah. We don't really get that, do we?
Like, how much of this movie in toto is spent in the Matrix?
Yeah, not
maybe
a lot.
Maybe a third. Certainly the least out of all of them.
Yeah. Oh boy.
And I understand the critique, honestly, because the world of the Matrix, the program, not the franchise, but the world of the Matrix is something visually unique.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas what we're seeing here does feel like a riff on a riff. It feels like something we've seen some version of in other things.
Yes, that's
right.
That's a good point. And we do get the Matrixy spectacle in the third act, like you're saying, with the Smith fight and everything. But yeah. I mean, we could be watching Aliens 3 here or something.
Yeah, or like a Terminator movie.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, this is like reminiscent of like the Future War stuff.
Yeah. I don't know why I said it. I think because of the power loaders, but yeah, the Terminator is much closer. Yeah. I mean, quite literally, actually. I just recently rewatched 2, and at the beginning you have people with these bazookas and shooting down these flying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Terminator 3, worth mentioning, came out in between the second and third Matrix movies.
Really?
Also from Warner Brothers. Yeah.
Oh, wow. See, all this looks good to me.
Yeah, I think what's important is we're seeing Zion just getting destroyed, right? So we're really like, there's that sense, like, there's no resolution here. You don't come back from this. Like, Zion as it existed is gone.
Right.
So what's next?
And I like this. It's kind of Star Wars-esque too, where we have these 3 different things we can cut between. Right? We've got her going through the power, I forget what it's called, power tunnel or something.
Yeah, the broadcast tunnel, right? Like,
yeah. Yeah. So wait, so who are the 2 women with the bazooka? One of them is
So one of them is Z, and that's Link's girlfriend.
Yeah, so I was like, yes, I know she's connected, but it's like we haven't spent a ton of time with her. But if that had been, like you were saying, like Dozer or someone.
Yeah, I mean, we get a little bit of the, like, what she says, right? When Gina Torres is like, "Oh, come," and she's like, "No, I love him and I have to fight and whatever."
Yeah. Although this girl is pretty badass.
Yes,
you know what I mean, and I like I like this moment here where she like holds onto her belt and she leans over. Yeah. So that's the war within me. Like I do actually like some of the drama here in the action, but it'd be like even cooler if it was like people we knew like a twinge better.
Well, and it's like I said. I mean, if you're already on board,
Yeah.
then you'll be tracking with all this.
You know, and that's a good point, because it's like all we should really care about is that drill bit gets stopped.
Right.
So it doesn't matter who's doing it, you know?
Exactly. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Yeah, this right here, what you're talking about,
Yeah, I
right?
like
With
this.
I think, we haven't really mentioned, but I think it is worth calling out the fact that as depicted in the films, the population of Zion is very brown,
Mm.
and I think that's interesting.
Yeah.
Like many of the council members, most of the leadership people are not white.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's a more realistic depiction of what like the population of the Earth is like.
Yeah, the Earth. Yeah, exactly.
You know. Oh, there she goes.
Yeah. I was thinking about, after I watched this, I had that image of that thing grabbing her leg and kind of going through it. I was like, oh, like, it's a real horrifying image.
Yeah, it really is. Yeah, I don't know who I am when all this is going on.
Right. Actually, I think I would probably be sneaky bazooka person. Like, I wouldn't want to be in the the center of the action with one of those machines and everything whizzing around. Like, I'd want to be able to like sort of sneak around corners and do my best to like be stealthy and sort of, and I don't think I'd want to be in a bunker either, not knowing what's going on.
That's a good point, right?
Like, there was that moment earlier where they were in there and everything starts rumbling.
Mm-hmm. Like, oh my God.
What is it?
Yeah. What is it?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd be stealthy corner guy. Except like my butt would be like sticking up too high or something. Like knowing me. Yeah.
See, I mean, we're at roughly the halfway point of the movie, and this is not what you put in the middle of your movie.
No, this feels like the third act.
Yeah, and I do like that they kind of clear the deck for the super burly brawl at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Like that becomes the complete, like everything narrows to that.
Mm-hmm.
Even the people in Zion who have no idea what's going on are waiting for what's going to happen with that, even though they don't actually know what's happening.
Right. No, that's a good point, because you don't want to cut away from that.
That's right.
Like, this is for all the marbles.
Yeah, right, exactly, you know? And I think when we talk about Neo's journey, right, like that, when we were watching Reloaded, commenting on how he has the rug pulled out from under him, right?
Mm-hmm.
In terms of what his role is and what's expected of him and just everything, all the systems of control.
Mm-hmm.
And he does not react like Luke Skywalker being told that Darth Vader is his father.
Right.
He has the exact opposite reaction.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, all right.
Right.
Right. And I think that's what allows him to go on the journey he does here, where he's able to be like, okay, so that wasn't a thing, but I know this. Right. Like, I mean, when you think about it, like what tends to happen is just human beings in general, we tend to get very beholden to our point of view.
Mm-hmm.
And anything that conflicts with that point of view, we try to dismiss it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We say no, because this is what I want to believe.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And it takes a higher level of maturity to be able to say, well, this is what I thought.
Yeah.
But this is what the evidence is.
Right.
And the evidence, I've looked into it, and the evidence is uncontestable. Therefore, I was wrong. Therefore, the only wise thing I can do is change my approach, change my perspective.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the journey that Neo is on.
And it kind of makes sense. He's seen a lot of things lately.
That's true.
He's had a lot of what he knows disrupted.
These two movies have been one crazy afternoon,
Right.
or however long, whatever amount of time.
Yeah, I mean, we think about him in his office, right?
Yeah, right.
FedEx envelope. He's like, you know what? I'm open to anything. Like,
yeah, I mean, you would hope we all have that capacity to say, well, this is what I thought, but I was wrong.
Mm-hmm.
And there's no shame in that.
Yeah. I think it gets easier. Well, maybe it doesn't, but with age,
I'd like to believe it
I'd
gets
like to
easier.
think so. Yeah,
I think
yeah.
there's plenty of examples of it not being the case.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Well, yeah. I just think it's like you hopefully realize that it's like you don't know everything. At some point in your life, you think you do,
Right.
And then the older you get, you're like, well, I didn't know this person's perspective, and I hadn't thought about it that way. And you hope you become more open.
Right. Well,
you hope capital H.
The hope is doing a lot of heavy lifting there.
Yes. Like Kid here with all the ammunition.
Hey, look at that. See, this is screen specific, everybody.
Yeah, exactly.
But he has this moment where he says, Neo, I believe, right? And that's exactly what he says before he, commits suicide in the Matrix.
Uh-huh.
And that would sure mean more if people watching the movie knew that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Boom.
Because he's just like a Neo groupie.
Yes.
So it's like being like Jerry Garcia, I believe, in our world. And you're like, oh, okay, well, that's a weird thing to say. Like,
that's right? A weird thing to say. Jerry Garcia, I believe. Right? Dude, that's hilarious. This is horrifying, by the way.
It really is.
This is
that is not the way you want to go.
No. The facial tears in this movie.
Yeah.
Awful, but on point. Like.
Yeah, I mean, it
kind of looks like probably I imagined what would happen if your face.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But yeah, I do admire that. Yeah, I know. I do admire the drama, the human drama that they're adding to this. So this isn't just blunt action,
right?
For 40 minutes or whatever it is. Like they're like coming up with problems and human drama, and you got to open the gate.
Yeah, you got to do this thing here. You got to do that there. You got to do the thing do the thingamajig to the thingamabob.
Yep.
And then this will happen.
Instead of just shoot for 10 minutes and then until the story says you don't have to anymore.
That is, I mean, that does feel like a lost art.
I think so. Yeah.
Where, you find a sort of through line. Yeah. Right. Between in your action sequence.
Mm-hmm.
You got to start here. You got to end up here, and you got to track all this. But there's all this, mishigas going around. You got to get through. You know,
I've heard that several screenwriters talk about that. They view action sequences as stories, as 3-act stories.
Yeah, I mean it. As effects technology has gotten more, it's increased the ease of what we can imagine.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like those plot holes increase.
Mm-hmm.
Of like, oh, we'll just let the
nanotech handle it.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
It can do anything.
I think we've established here at the Movie Film Show we're in the anti-nanite camp.
It gets an eye roll from me, and then I'll just go along with it.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know what's interesting about these power loader things too is, and I'm not saying that being snide, but like I don't know what else to call them, but like they look very unstable.
Yes.
Am I right?
Yeah.
Like they just go like.
Well, they're top heavy.
Yeah, and maybe
in a way
maybe
where it feels like
they looked into the reality of the physics and they're like, look, that's what it'd be. It'd kind of make you uneasy, right? Like, I mean, they look like they're being totally rattled around when they're walking.
And aren't they like walking around on these catwalks? Like that just feels like
I know. They just
you're just asking for trouble.
Yeah.
Like top heavy power loaders on catwalks over chasms does not feel like a great mix of ingredients there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Going back to the reception that the film got. I mean, it is unquestionable that the franchise kind of faded away after this movie.
Mm-hmm.
And one presumes that some measure of how these films were received. Like it did not have the afterlife one would have expected based on how quickly the first film was absorbed into the bloodstream.
Yeah. Although, yes, and I 100% agree with that with this series, but it is interesting to see how much they influenced other things.
Mm-hmm.
But you're right. Yeah, almost not to the degree. I don't think it's actually, I'd be curious what you'd say, but like Game of Thrones, how it just overnight was like, yeah, we're done with that.
Yeah, maybe not to that extent.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I think you'd be hard pressed to find any the plurality of Game of Thrones fans who are going to be like, nope, the whole thing was great and it ended strong.
Right.
Whereas, like, there are people who love this trilogy hard,
Mm-hmm.
right? And they're going to be like, well, you know, you're missing out.
Right.
And I don't feel like that's the case with Game of Thrones. Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah, no, I don't really know. But it just out of favor, but even like almost out of zeitgeist. Like people don't reference it like they once did. You know,
Right.
memes and things like that. Whereas we still do Star Wars memes and, you know.
Yeah, that's like, I remember when The Matrix 2 and 3 were coming out in the lead up. It's like, oh, this is the new Star Wars. Like, Star Wars is old hat.
Mm-hmm.
This is the new Star. That was sort of the, you know, the ain't it cool of it all, you know? And I mean, historically, that's obviously proven not to be the case.
Right.
And, you know, I do wonder why that is, because I think there's enough in these films that would have prompted some desire to keep the thread alive between, you know, the third movie and this the fourth one, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, there was the online Matrix Online.
Yeah.
Which it lasted, I think, for like 3 or 4 years after this movie came out.
Yeah. I only went, oh yeah, because I'm not very familiar with it. I didn't.
I mean, I know of it. I don't know the specific, but I know that at least at the time it was considered canon to the films.
Yeah.
I have no idea how it fits in with the fourth movie. If it's, I really don't know. But I mean, my point is, other than that, there wasn't like, you know, published fiction, and there wasn't like the stuff you'd see.
Yeah.
To keep a brand alive. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, totally. The animated series,
yeah, just the stuff, you know, like, I mean, granted, licensed fiction, I guess, isn't really as much of a thing anymore as it used to be.
Mm.
But it used to be, you know, like a franchise, there would be like novels.
Yeah, like Star Wars. I mean,
yeah, Star Wars is a perfect example, right? Not just novelism. Yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah.
You know, the Jedi Academy, you know, like there was nothing that kept moving the Matrix franchise forward, which I find kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just kind of went like that. Like people like, okay.
Yeah. By the way, this is going back to maybe 5 minutes or so, but basically when Niobe's ship was coming in, it was like crash landing. It looked like a mixture of CG and models.
Mm-hmm.
Right, because I mean, all the sort of detritus coming off of the ship just looked real, and you know, and there was a real weight to it, right?
Right.
And that's the big thing I think I'm missing these days. Is like I remember for some reason specifically watching Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Sure.
And there was like a ship slamming through walls, and I felt like there was absolutely no like. Look at this. You know what I mean? Like there's a real an oomph and a weight to this. Things colliding, and that's the one I'm totally look like I look at my 80s movies and 90s movies and I'm like,
right.
I get it, they had their problems too, like they're things that aren't real are always gonna have problems because they're not real. But like I do think the physicality is important, and I think a lot of times now when things crash into things there's just absolutely no power or push or weight.
No, I think you're absolutely right.
And I think
you're absolutely right.
That's why this had me sort of clenching, you know, my bare knuckled or white knuckled kind of feeling, because I was like, damn, I think they might blow up. Like that looks really dangerous, you know, colliding into the things they're colliding into. And so I really appreciate that about this movie.
And it's stuff that you become aware of in its absence.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
When it's not there, you're like, well, something about that doesn't look right.
Yeah.
So maybe by virtue of that, it's harder to appreciate it when you're seeing it, because it's just that's what you expect.
Right. Right. Yeah, and I mean, it's, you know, on little Instagram things that I follow with behind the scenes stuff. You look at even like The Dark Knight. all this model work I didn't even realize was model work. Like in the lower whacker with the garbage truck,
Right.
and all that stuff. But it makes complete sense because when those two vehicles collide with one another, there is a real sense of like, whoa, things reacting and hitting concrete and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Because even though it was smaller,
Absolutely.
it really was hitting something.
See this right here. I mean, they've essentially finished off the big battle and cleared it away completely, so that now we're solely following Neo and Trinity's story.
Yeah. I love all this. I think this is really ominous and interesting. The Machine City.
I think, and what Neo is saying here about the idea that he can feel them.
Mm-hmm.
Again, and look at the way in which he's seeing things, right? I mean, the fact that his perception of the machine realm is luminous,
right?
In a look at how Trinity is seeing it and how we're seeing it. Look at how Neo is seeing it.
Yeah,
it's heavenly almost.
Mm-hmm.
So it turns your expectations sideways a little bit.
Yeah. It would be sort of scary. I mean, everyone back here in Zion is just waiting, like hoping Neo's going to do this.
Yeah, they have no idea.
No. I feel like even the first movie, I mean, the effects are really impressive, obviously, but I feel like the Sentinels really work in this one.
Yeah, I agree. They could have looked really ropey and cartoony.
Yes.
But they you could tell they put effort into making them feel, even as they're like all, with the tentacles and things, but they still feel like machines, which I think is so important.
Yep.
I mean, it's, I was talking about Terminator 3. I mean, and that's a movie that I probably like it more than you do, but the thing that's always bugged me about that movie is the TX.
Yes.
Which just doesn't look like a machine.
Right.
Right.
Now, I know we talked about this council in the second movie, but are these all made up of people from the real world? Like our world, I mean, like philosophers and stuff, like Cornel West, or are these some half actors, half?
The majority are actors. Other than Cornel West, I don't believe there's any other philosophers in there. Yeah, Cornel West, along with Ken Wilber, did commentary tracks for all three films.
Mm-hmm.
That are, man, you talk about just like listening to these two guys that are way smarter than you, just talking about all kinds of shit, and you're just sort of sitting there, like just drinking your Arnold Palmer, sipping your Arnold Palmer, just listening to these guys talking way above your pay grade.
Right.
That's what it's like,
I was on an airplane yesterday. I so badly wanted to watch Animatrix in preparation for this.
Oh, okay.
And the stupid airplane Wi-Fi just wasn't cooperating. But yeah, like.
And first of all, let's pause on that for a second. The stupid airplane Wi-Fi.
Okay, you know what? Acknowledged and agreed. You know what? What a miracle! What a miracle! I was able to fly it all. Like
you're sitting in a chair in the sky, and you're complaining about the Wi-Fi.
So I had to watch my stupid movie.
Stupid goddamn plane, so dumb. Yeah. And then an hour later, I landed safely, and I just went away. But anyway, sorry. Go on.
No, but I'm just like I'm ready to absorb all of this stuff. You know what I mean? Like I want to watch the extra stuff and kind of fill in all the gaps of all this.
I have said it previously, but to anyone listening, watch the Animatrix. You don't have to watch all of it. I think it's total. It's about 2 hours worth of shorts.
Yeah, not even. I think it's about like 140.
Okay, there you go.
Yeah.
So I mean, certainly they're all enjoyable to some extent. But if you're just look at this, by the way, look at how Neo is seeing it. Look at that.
Yeah.
They're like they're like angelic beings.
Yeah.
Like as they're passing through him.
You know, and along those lines, like Trinity doesn't get to see any of this, and I love
Mhm.
how committed she is to Neo, and it's like she never questions it. She just
Yeah.
believes him, and she
Yeah.
supports him. You know, like there's such a power couple in this movie. I love it.
And that idea again, the idea that it transcends eros into agape,
Mm-hmm.
this purely selfless love
Yep.
that they have for each other. I mean, when Trinity, right here, look at this.
This is so beautiful. I love this. Her face.
This is the first time she's ever seen the sun.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, it's a good moment.
and then she dies. But anyway. But I mean, when she does die, it truly wrecks Neo.
Yeah. Me too. I didn't like it. I mean, I
Yeah.
appreciate it being the third film, but I was like, no.
That was definitely another one of those markers. Like, okay, yeah, so we're wrapping things up here. Then,
Yeah, this is coming to an end.
But I think it's so important if we're talking about the hero's journey that this person who is his rock, she has to be taken away from him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a little. I mean, this is a flawed analogy, but it's a little bit like the sixth Rocky, where the one person who he's always counted on isn't there.
Yeah,
you know, there's no Adrian, and he's just a broken person without her.
Right.
You know. But what I was saying earlier about the Animatrix, at least watch Final Flight of the Osiris. Definitely watch the Second Renaissance,
Mm-hmm.
and check out Kid's Story because it ties directly into this. F him and F his story.
I want all that filled in. I'm watching the whole thing. At some point, I will. I'm going to do my best to do it before I watch the fourth film.
Yeah, in a way, I mean, the nice thing about us having done these commentaries is it gave you the excuse to jump into these prior to watching the new movie.
Yeah, you know, because these are movies I have revisited and reappreciated already, but I must admit the details always start to slowly go away from my mind. Because if I was to explain the third movie before I rewatched it last night, I'd be like, okay, wait, hold on. You know, and I'd remember like the couple of the beats.
Yeah.
But it's like I need to keep re-immersing it to remember all of it, honestly.
So that works out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm glad I did.
This is so sad here. She's like, I can't go with you.
I know. This really worked for me. This sad beat between the two of them and how much they love each other.
And before he finds out, what does he say? He says, I wish you could see what I see. It's like they're made of light.
Yeah.
And I'm like, it's all right here. What is that saying about these machines? They're not what we think.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that said, as moving as this is, her death scene does stretch into like Yoda taking too long to die territory.
I thought that too. I was starting... even as I was watching this, I was imagining them watching it in the edit room and wondering if anyone raised their hand and was like, you know what? Maybe if we cut this in half, it might even be more powerful.
Yeah, maybe, right?
But you know, maybe it meant so much to them. They're like, well, you know what? Screw it. Like, we're going to indulge in this because this is what we want for them. We want these two people to be able to do this.
Yeah. Now, that said, I mean, Keanu Reeves being able to emote like this, even with half his face hidden, he's not a bad actor, you know. All those jokes about him from the 90s.
Yeah,
like, no, he's doing something really impressive here, you know.
You know, I started getting worried about was if his eye sockets are sort of sealed shut. I was like, what about where do his tears go?
Is he crying? Do we see him cry?
Well, no, but I mean, it feels like he is.
That's a good point.
What's the new?
It's like where are the tears coming out of? You mean?
Yeah, I mean, I imagine his body is producing them, and then I started worrying about where they were going. I don't know.
See, that's a Google search. I'm not sure you want in your history.
No.
If somebody's eye sockets are sealed shut, what happens to their?
Where did their tears go?
I feel like the FBI is going to show up at your door.
Or a psychologist or something.
Yeah, we need to see your basement, sir.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So we take Neo to his lowest point.
Yeah.
His rock, his everything, right?
Mhm.
And you know, the to me, the way I read it is she doesn't so much die as her sort of spirit transfers over to him.
Mm,
So the three become one.
right. Ooh, like a trinity?
One might say. Huh?
It is funny though, because then after this sort of lengthy goodbye,
Yeah.
I think I forget who says it. I think it's in Zion. Someone says something about like, I hope he's hurrying. You remember that? Or like, we don't have much time. I really hope it.
We're on the clock here. Come
Yeah.
on. I saw recently, both Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss are out promoting the new movie, and she talks about how, she was like coming up when this movie was made. Like she had been around, but I mean, obviously, this is her first big credit, right?
Yeah.
But Keanu Reeves was already very well known, and she talked about how the way in which he was on set to everybody, how kind of what we've talked before is like set mapped out for her how like a big star should act, and I'm like, that's what you always hope would be the impact you have on people,
right
Yeah, right there. If you're gonna do something, better do it quick.
Yes, that's what it is.
Cut back to Keanu still kissing Trinity's corpse.
Yeah, it's like, I remember when we first met. Like it was yesterday. Yes. Yeah. Yeah, this is great. It's really ominous and scary, this meeting like the machine.
Mm-hmm.
And I love it.
And the entity that he ends up connecting with is listed in the credits as Deus Ex Machina.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Which I kind of love, right? It is the god in the machine.
Yep, that's perfect. Yeah, I love all this stuff here. What he sees.
And I think what really makes this climax sort of click in is what I mentioned before about the backstory we get about the machines from the Second Renaissance.
Yeah.
And
I look forward to it. Yeah.
You'll get there eventually.
Yeah.
But just in the sense of like, these are beings, and they are they're not monsters. They're like us.
Mm-hmm.
And so what, earlier in the film when Neo's talking to the Oracle, right? And she says, I want the same thing you want. And he says, peace.
Mm-hmm.
And peace only comes by the two sides coming together, compromise, figuring something out. And if not for Smith existing,
right,
that peace may not be possible.
Right.
Yeah.
And it makes me, because I have seen Animatrix and I've kind of forgotten it, but it's, there's like humans and machines coexist for a minute, but humans aren't very nice to them, right?
Exactly.
You can imagine if one just, spilt his coffee and one was like, out of my way, bot. And it's like, you should be nicer to them. Someone, a friend be like, you should be nicer to the robots. And he's like, what? What's the worst that could happen? And you just cut to what we're seeing on screen right now, where there's like no sun. Using humans as pods of batteries of energy.
Exactly.
Yeah, maybe be nice.
It's so funny. See, when Smith absorbs the Oracle, the reason he's laughing is because he's seeing the end.
Yeah.
So he's like, I'm seeing my victory.
Right.
But he doesn't understand. Remember, you can't see it past a choice you don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
And Smith is driven solely by purpose. So his purpose is to absorb the Matrix. He succeeds.
Right.
Not realizing that Neo's choice led him to that moment. And there's a whole other sequence that happens on the other side of that.
Mm-hmm. Now, this is going to sound funny this far into this series, but I mean, what is Smith? Like, why does he go rogue? What compels him? Like, what is his, what does he represent?
So Smith, after Neo destroys him,
Mm-hmm.
right? He becomes a rogue program, and what we know is the rogue programs are shuffled out of the Matrix and returned to the source by the train man.
I see.
But he chooses not to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And so he's now grappling with. I mean, he is a virus. He's a
Right.
computer virus. So he's grappling with. Well, who am I if I'm not that? I exist. I no longer have that purpose.
Mm-hmm.
So what is my purpose?
Right.
And so for him, it as viruses do, he's like, fine. My purpose is to replicate.
Mm-hmm.
And replicate until everyone in the Matrix is subsumed, whether program or machine, or program or person. Excuse me.
So now, in the other iterations of the Matrix, this hasn't happened before.
That's exactly right.
Right. So Neo, it's interesting because I mean, he gets led to the architect again, which sounds like has happened before.
Yeah.
But his defeat of the Smith, for some reason, pivots into some sort of alternate, chain of events.
I think there's two things. I think it's the existence of Smith and the transcendent love for Trinity. Those are the two things that are the variables in this iteration of the Matrix.
Right.
But even then, I mean, it's kind of like we act as if we have choice, right? Mm-hmm. And when you think about it, like the things that we do are governed by our code of behavior.
Right.
And isn't that like programming?
Right.
You can't erase that programming.
Right.
So we're all programs to some extent.
Sure.
We are the result of the OS that's been uploaded in all our life.
Right. Right.
Sorry if that's getting like out there.
Well, hey, if we aren't having this conversation while watching this movie, what are we doing? Right?
I love this scene so much. This entire final action sequence, I absolutely adore it.
You know what? I'm going to be honest. When I first saw it, I think I really was paying more attention to the visuals of it and thinking, oh, well, there were some other action sequences I liked more. Like that's early 20 something Brian. And like now I love it. Yeah. I love what's at stake. I love, now that I have more understanding of even what's going on, frankly.
Yeah.
I really love this whole sequence. These two scary Supermen, they're not both scary, but it's light and dark Supermen fighting one another.
Yeah. And to me, this is so much more effective, in terms of execution and stakes than the Burly Brawl, in my opinion.
Sure. Yeah.
It helps. I love this music. This this track on the soundtrack. It's called Neo Damarung, which is so perfect because it is this Goddard Damarung of a thing. I mean, you hear the chorus,
Mm-hmm.
And I love that. Again, the whole trilogy comes down to this epic fight between these two guys.
I love the whole rain physics also, right? When they hit each other, it's so powerful that it just creates like this, blows the rain away and then it has to come back down. And,
right.
Creating these bubbles. And yeah, I think all this just looks so good. I also think the flying physics looks really good.
I think so, yeah. I mean, this was like a test run for doing another Superman.
Sure.
It took them another couple of years to get there, but you have to imagine Warner Brothers. This is Warner Brothers. They have to be like, hey.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Why aren't we doing a Superman? The purpose of life is to end, right? And that's a very nihilistic worldview.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in opposition to what most of us would like to believe about why we're here.
There's just something so cool too. Something that was striking me as I was watching this. I think this is a pretty cool. These silhouettes here.
Yeah, it's great.
When Trinity dies, and then of course Neo, he just keeps getting up. and he spits the blood out of his mouth and like, come here,
Mhm.
he just won't give up. Like there's sort of this thing where you wish or you hope you have that inside of you.
Mhm.
When all the stakes are down, like Trinity will go to the very end of her life for this cause.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like just to the very end of it. And then Neo too, like just he'll be pummeled into the ground and he'll get up again. Like there's just something in for me when I see that heroes do that in stories, it just like gets this guttural feeling where I'm like, yes! Like it just right? It's just how you would like to think you would be.
You hope so. Well, I mean, that's what our on-screen heroes hopefully are for
Mm-hmm.
us, right? A way to be.
Yeah.
But I can
Yeah.
totally I can totally understand how people who are just like, what the hell's going on for the whole of this movie
Yeah.
would just be like, oh God, make it stop.
You know what though? I wonder too if audiences now might be more conditioned for all of this.
Hmm.
You know, um,
Because of
just I mean,
similar stories being out there, or
yeah, just with all the superhero movies we have now, and we're used to busier looking action.
sure,
Like
sure,
this
sure.
is pretty straightforward. Just
That's right. That's a good
the
point.
two guys going at it like this. I love that. All the lightning. They're just like, they dial it to 11. No holds back. Like no holding back. Comic book. Like let's just go for it. We're just gonna make this look awesome.
Yeah.
Like that. Like that's so much more dramatic and almost comic booky than anything in the first film, right?
Yes.
Like Agent Smith doing some sort of pose in the sky with lightning bolts behind him.
That's right.
Mm.
Look at that. That's fantastic. The shockwave.
Yep. Can you
And I
imagine how
mean, when you
miserable? Oh yeah, good.
no,
I would say
continue.
how miserable it would have been to film this.
All this rain.
Just lying in a puddle and having rain pummeled on you. I mean, this
I wonder
must have
how
taken
long.
weeks.
Yeah, I was about to say. I wonder how long this entire sequence took. Probably, yeah, several weeks.
Yeah. Look at my kingdom. So wait, what were you going to say? I'm sorry.
No, I mean this. Watching the first Matrix film, right? Certainly, I felt, oh, this is a superhero origin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that the story comes to an end, that's sort of a reflection of where we're at now with a lot of superhero stories, where there is that sense of like, okay, let the story end. There is a conclusion. I feel like in a sense, this paved the way for like the Dark Knight trilogy.
Sure. I love this. Much like the scene he had earlier with the Oracle.
Mm-hmm.
I love Hugo Weaving here. Why do you do it? Like he's just
And he's asking himself.
Yeah.
Because he doesn't understand choice.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I mean, it's like he's trying to convince himself.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Oh, these are temporary constructs. And it's just him. Because he doesn't have that. He doesn't have any of that.
Mm-hmm. Dude, yeah, I'm saying, like, we need to bring Hugo Weaving back in the conversation here as one of the greatest villains ever.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
I think you're totally right. See, I think the fact that he talks about love being this insipid thing, and love is the thing that drove Neo, right?
Mm-hmm. Do you think this should have ended with Neo then hugging him? He's like, ah! And then the light comes out of his mouth,
Maybe audiences would have liked it more. Who's to say?
Here we go. Super punch.
It's like something out of anime.
Yeah.
He says, "Why do you persist?" And Neo says, "Because I choose to."
Mm-hmm.
And what's ironic is that his ultimate victory comes from choosing not to persist, from surrendering.
Mm-hmm.
That's how he wins.
Yeah.
But it's something Neo doesn't understand yet. He only understands it when Smith says, "I've seen this before," and he says what the Oracle said.
Yes.
And at that point, Neo understands, right? Because how do you square inevitability with choice?
Right.
Right? How do you connect those? It feels like those can't go together.
Right.
Right? But that's where Neo has to land. My choice has led me to this inevitable moment.
Mm.
I don't know. That's a lot. Sorry.
No. I'm regretting not taking an edible before this.
No, man.
I see it.
Yeah, see right here.
Yes, I love this. Oh, he's so good in this movie. You were laying there. Yeah, just like that.
So he knows that's what he was laughing about.
Yes.
I win. But like the Oracle said, I can't see past a choice I don't understand.
Mm-hmm. So would that be Neo succumbing? That's the choice he doesn't understand, or what's the choice he doesn't?
So the Oracle knows that Neo will be defeated by Smith.
Mm-hmm.
But how does he get there? She doesn't know. He doesn't know. Nobody knows.
Mm-hmm.
He still has to make that choice, right? Because I mean, what's actually happening is that, remember, Smith is supposed to go back to the source where he'll be deleted.
Right.
So by absorbing Neo, since Neo is hardwired into the source, when Smith absorbs Neo, he's absorbed in and he's deleted.
He's deleted, yeah.
So it was a trap.
Yeah.
But he didn't see it.
Yeah. This is good. I mean, this is just really clever versus just him winning a punching fight.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, that's the thing. It's kind of like with the big thing in Zion. It's like, where does this end?
Mm-hmm.
Where do we go? Right? There has to be something beyond this. So at this point, Smith has now the Matrix is completely corrupted. It's like a hard drive that's just overtaken with porno viruses. Right? I'm guessing. I'm assuming that's the case. I don't.
You know, and then when your screen does that weird flicker thing, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Now look at right here. Look at the wings behind him.
Yep.
I mean, we always joke about, oh yeah, no, it's a Christ metaphor.
Yeah. We get like a light cross.
Yeah, I mean,
he's computer Jesus now.
That's right.
Yeah. I love the look of this, by the way. Boom! Oh, that is so cool.
Mm-hmm.
That light coming out of him.
So he's at this point, Neo is transcending the realm of both man and machine. He's become something else.
Yeah. So why was Neo so special and the others weren't? You think it's the love, the Trinity?
I think without question, right? Because his love for Trinity was such that he was able to rewrite the rules of the Matrix and bring her back to life.
So it's not like we're getting Neo's 6 times.
No.
Like we're getting the ones 6 times, and they happen to be different, but there's something to Anderson.
Right, exactly. Yeah. For him specifically, just something different.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it just so he was lucky enough to have Neo already as his hacker name.
Yeah. Yeah, it's perfect.
I feel like all these guys. I mean, I remember we talked about in one of our previous commentaries. I can't remember which one. Where like the call sign that fighter pilots have.
Yes.
And
yes.
It would suck if one guy's name was like Hershey Squirts.
Yes. Yeah.
I feel the same way about like people's Zion names. Everyone's like, you know, Link and Lock and Tank. One guy would be like, you know, toilet paper or something. Like,
yeah. Or like pea trickle.
Yeah, pea trickle.
I love this. By the way, I love that he's running like, it's over, because we see the Sentinels leaving. And I'm like, hold on.
Yeah. I was like, maybe give it like an hour or two.
Yeah,
I
that
would
is
say.
a bold proclamation. Like, I mean, things are looking up. I will give you that. And then I was joking with Federica, thanks to you, when he tells the whole assembly here, "It's over," and everyone's like, "What?" And I was picturing the jizz mopper being like, "Oh no."
No.
He knows this week is about to get a whole lot uglier.
Oh, jeez. So funny.
I love this. I love Morpheus. I have so many questions about resurrections, Zachy.
I'd love to tell you, but my lips are sealed.
Yeah. Well, so people understand,
they are sealed.
It hasn't been released yet. That's why I haven't seen it. But
My lips are sealed like the characters in the Matrix when they're trying to talk.
Yes. Yes.
That's how thoroughly they are sealed.
Fair. And you know what? I appreciate it. I appreciate you for it.
I am very much looking forward to discussing that film.
Yeah.
But in that vein, the Matrix Resurrections ends with I'm just joking. The final scene of that film is what I like about this film is the story ends, but the universe does not.
Sure. Right.
This is not a definitive that's it kind of ending, and I mean it's explicated where the characters literally say, like, how long do you think this piece can last, and she says, as long as it has to.
Yeah.
Because that's just the nature of these things, right? And I mean, human history is replete with periods of peace followed by periods of extended war.
Right.
And what we know about the machines is they're not all that different from us. Now, by virtue of the fact that this is a new Matrix, you'll notice that the green tint is no longer in effect now. This is this is Matrix 2.0 or 12.0 or whatever version it is.
I gotta be honest, didn't notice that. I mean, obviously we get this beautiful sunrise here. It's really pretty and more rainbow-esque than it is green tinted, but
and this is the thing, right? The Matrix, the program, at the close of this film is no longer a mode of control. And that's important, right? Because as she says, the people want to leave, well, they'll be freed, of course. Now he's saying it like, well, of course they'll be freed.
Right.
He's not like, oh, fine.
Right.
It's because
we made. I'm not human.
And he's not a bad guy either. That's important.
Right. Which I will admit I had to sort of look up to try to understand the yin yang aspect of the architect and the oracle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's the mind, she's the heart.
Right.
But in any body, you need both.
Right. Very well put. Yeah.
Yeah. And then here's our little bad actress to carry us out of the movie.
Darn it, she's cute.
She's cute, but she's not. She's like, I'm just keeping it real.
She's no Dakota Fanning.
Now,
like
this question
that's still my reference for a child.
I know. I was about to say that adorable little scamp Dakota Fanning, that young tyke from Sam I Am,
Right. Yes. Wait, what were you saying?
No, that question of will we see Neo again, right? And spoiler alert, we will.
Yeah, right.
But there was that question mark even throughout the time that the Matrix Online existed. Where like, in what form does Neo exist within this world, right? And that's the important thing, is at the close of this film, the Matrix still exists. It's still a thing that people are plugged into. It's still a thing that people can plug back into. But now the Matrix exists at, it's, I said this in our Reloaded commentary, it's like Casablanca. That this is where the various sides can interface with each other.
Right.
And it's not as simple as humans and machines, because there's different, well, we've already seen, there's different factions within the machines.
Right.
as brought up. I'm not saying anything about the new movie. That's in the game.
Right.
And that's all important. And it's also in the film, right? Because the Merovingian has different goals from the Deus Ex Machina. They're all doing different stuff.
Yeah, that's what I'm so excited about. I mean, we seem like we're at a peaceful moment, but what does this new iteration look like? That's what I'm really excited to see.
Yeah. And there's a lot to discuss there. So I think that'll be a fun conversation to have.
Oh man, I can't wait. Wait, two things I wanted to point out that I had in my notes that I thought were worth pointing out. I still didn't see it this time. I'm watching this on an iPad at the moment, but during the final fight with Neo and Smith, the raindrops, some of them are actually lines of Matrix code.
Oh, interesting.
Which I guess is meant to imply that Matrix is sort of destabilizing a bit. I was looking for it this time. I still didn't see it, so I don't know. Maybe it's...
I mean, I imagine it would be a subtle... I don't think it would be something you'd pick up on an iPhone, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I mean, they're pretty... Yeah, it's raindrops.
But I'm watching on my 65-inch TV here.
Oh, go on.
I didn't see it at all. I know, yeah.
Do tell.
Brian, some people watch on their iPhone in their closet.
Yeah.
Some of us, however... stream 4K on there. So James McTeague, by the way, that he's also first AD on the new one.
Oh, really?
But he also directed V for Vendetta, which is produced by the Wachowskis.
Right.
Which had Hugo Weaving as the voice of the main character.
Yeah. And then last thing I wanted to point out, the bench that the Oracle is sitting on has a memorial plate. It says, "In memory of Thomas Anderson."
Look at that.
Pretty cool.
That is pretty cool. I hadn't noticed that before.
Yeah. I only noticed it this time after I'd read that fact.
So tell me about the Matrix Revolutions. What are your thoughts on, and not just the film, but the trilogy as a whole? Having gone through it in short order.
Every time I revisit this trilogy, I appreciate it more. And I still can see, unlike, say, if I was going to watch A New Hope, like if I intend, not just catching on TV, but I'm like, I'm going to watch A New Hope, I would probably likely then over the next 3 nights watch Empire, Return of the Jedi. And I don't know that I would always feel compelled. Like I think I could be satiated with just the first Matrix and be like,
sure,
I don't feel the need this week to get into those other two. But like, I definitely appreciate these a lot more than I did. And I could see it now being more likely that I would at some point revisit the 3 of them.
Sure.
Does that make sense?
It absolutely does.
Yeah. So I think 1 is enough to be like, The Matrix is awesome. And you don't have to go into 2 and 3 if you don't feel like it.
Right.
But I do think they all do go together nicely and make for a really intriguing series.
Yeah.
Yeah. You?
Well, yeah, just picking up on what you're saying, I do think that, I mean, we're now 18 years after these sequels, which is itself extraordinary. We said before that it's been longer between Matrix 3 and Matrix 4 than between Return of the Jedi and The Phantom Menace, which felt like forever back then.
I know.
I do think that time has been kind to the sequels.
Yeah.
I'm coming at that with a certain amount of bias because I've enjoyed them for a long time.
Yeah.
But I as I said earlier in our conversation, I think nowadays, especially people who were born after us, they don't view it as just one movie. They watch it as a trilogy. And so it's all just one big story. And I think that helps. Knowing where a story is headed allows you to appreciate the journey getting there.
Right.
And I remember when you and I talked through Iron Man 2 earlier this year, I think you said something similar to that effect. Like, now that we know how Tony Stark's story ends, just every part of the journey, you just be like, hey, it's one other opportunity to spend time with this character. And you just pick up all the little things that'll pay off later. And I think that's how it is for me with these films.
Yep.
Is it has an ending that I like.
And
so I like the journey to get there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even in thinking of these sequels here, because they're the 2 that we covered, I was like, you know what? I still think my eyeballs prefer 2, but my mind prefers 3.
There you go.
If that makes any
It
sense.
absolutely does.
Yeah.
I think that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
To
Or
boil it down.
mind/heart.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I think that is a good place to leave this discussion. Then.
Yeah. Yeah. This
We
is a pleasure. I'm really glad to revisit these, and especially, I mean, I think, like I say, I'm always sort of grasping a little bit when I revisit these and trying to understand them. And I think, honestly, I mean, you were really well versed in these, and you've seen them, and you have a real handle on them. And I've really appreciated it, honestly,
well,
your insights on them.
thank you for that. I appreciate that. That's very nice of you to
Yeah.
say. I was looking forward to talking through these, but also, yeah, I was a little bit nervous because it's some big topics, so
Yeah.
a lot to get your arms around. But I think we did it, and hey, we're done now. We're on the other side of it, so
Yeah.
that's a good thing. So, with that in mind, we will be back soon with our regular show where we will be talking about, Spider-Man: No Way Home. That's what we're going to be talking
Mhm.
about, and then we'll be back after Christmas to talk about the Matrix Resurrections.
I can't wait for both.
So lots of fun stuff coming up in December still. So keep it tuned here for that. But as always, if you have any questions or comments about this commentary track, please send them our way at moviefilmpodcast@gmail.com. You can also hit like on our Facebook page, facebook.com/moviefilmpodcast. And as always, please go to Apple Podcasts and leave a review, leave a star rating. Every little bit helps, and we appreciate all the nice words that you say. So please keep those coming. Those are very, very kind, all of them.
Mhm.
And if you're looking for me online, you can find me on Twitter at Zacky's Corner. That's ZAKIS Corner. That's also my website, justadded.com. Brian, anything you want to hype up right now?
Just Puppy Dog Pals. I've actually written, out of the 5 Christmas episodes we have, I've written 4 of them. So I'm sure a bunch of those are airing this month. So
look at that.
Yeah, Disney Plus, Disney Junior.
There we go. And with that, we will put a pin in this discussion, but we'll be back soon. Thanks, everybody, for listening.